Hi everyone, and thank you for visiting here at my first garden. Today I want to do a front garden tour. We did the back garden tour. I forgot to do the front, so I'm going to do that now here today before we get our cold weather. It's going to get about 30. I think that's the lowest that I saw. So I want to get a good chance and capture what it looks like now before some of these plants might die out. So let's get started on that front garden tour. So first we have our bougainvillea here. It started off with this lattice. So very short, and it seems to have grown here, but not too many blooms. We've gotten about, like this one, a couple pinks, and an orange was somewhere else. So this is a double variety. We have our green wall here. This is just extra grass. We're gonna figure out where to place it. We have our orange lantern tree. It's really nice. Blooming here more than it was in the summer. I think it likes the cool weather. Next we have some white vinca. This I've sheared back to sort of keep the dome because it doesn't get full sun. I have this, we've had this variety in full sun and know that it mounds up once it gets what it needs. So here it's sort of stretching, that's why it's sort of elongating, but nonetheless it's still blooming here in December. We have some irises here. These are white irises. We have some Dusty Millers. These are annual, so once they start fading or turning gray, we'll pop them out and put something else new. These are some low zinnias. I'm not sure the variety, but they are vibrant. And they stay very short, so the variety I want to get so I can continue using this. Next we have marigolds. In orange we had yellow. The yellow didn't seem to really live that long, but the orange to bright orange is working perfectly. We have some pink salvia there. I also forget the name of these, but they have little blooms, so those more of a ground cover. We have some lamb's ear. It does get pretty wet here and humid in Florida, so I heard that the leaves can sustain some damage, but so far maybe about a month here and it's been doing all right. And you see some new growth coming in from the middle as well. They're so soft. And then here in the back, this was a recent thing, I think around October, November, I added their ligustrum, and I wanted them to act as a sort of backdrop evergreen. So we have more marigolds. Some of these were the main plants in summer, but here pretty much only one survived. So mostly marigolds and Dusty Miller for now, but still doing good. Here's another look at the pink salvia. This one actually blooms because it gets sun the half of the day. It gets full morning sun and then towards the afternoon continues to get sun. Over there starts to get some shade, that's why we haven't seen that one bloom quite as much as this one. We have two Texas sage here. They're not blooming at the moment. They were pretty much 2 weeks ago, so some of the blooms fell off. So those are matching. And then some sweet alyssum, some cabbage just for ornamental, and then another zinnia mix in our urn here. And this I actually propagated from the back. I took the stems and just really placed it into the soil, and it seems to have rooted really well. The leaves feel nice and firm. There is a little bit of spotting. I haven't seen any blooms yet, but this is the Rockin' Blue variety. So I think that'll work. The blue here and then the pink there. And here is a Russian sage. So it's pretty much a stick just now, so I'm hoping it'll flourish in the summer. And here's our newest addition, is 3 Japanese blueberry trees. So pretty full so far. It's getting there. And then we'll walk over to our front door garden as well. So here we are at our front door garden. We have another matching urn. This also has white alyssum. It has some purple sort of sweet potato vining plants. Here's a bloom that it had, really faded right now though, so you can't see what it looks like. And it's just trailing out the side. These sweet alyssum have the sweetest scent. They smell like honey. And here is, this lasted since October. I forget the name, but it sort of looked like a Halloween theme. That's why we placed it there. Down below we have 3 sort of junipers, and they're evergreen, so I try not to place any flowers around here, just these green evergreens. pumpkin left over from Halloween. The weather's been really great here, so it's lasted. We have some red coleus, some grasses. These, I forget the name as well, but they do really well and they don't mind if they get dried out, which is mainly what happens because it's in such a far place. Then we have these purple, some more dusty millers. I think these were left over from our front fence, so I just plopped them here. Some sedum and some dwarf mondo grass. In our front by our wall, we want to figure out a statue or possibly a fountain, something that can take that space and really fill it in and put more use to it. But right now we have a lot of these purple. I'm blanking on the name. This one's doing really healthy. The rest are pretty much twigs, so not the best. They do get blooms on them, but I'm hoping maybe it's the sunlight that they're not getting enough here, and that's why they're not flourishing. And then the back we have some more lingustrum. These are doing great. They get morning sun, afternoon shade, or more like mid-afternoon to afternoon shade. But they're doing really great. The color is perfect as opposed to the ones up front. I am treating those with iron tone because they're looking more yellow than the lime green they're supposed to be. And up here we have 3 pampas grass. So this will be a season here in March. That'll be a season that they've been here. They are growing. They should get up to 6 feet wide and 6 feet high. But for the moment, they're just growing, so it doesn't look like much. But maybe in a year to 2 years, we'll start seeing those white plumes that a lot of people use as decorations for fall time. I know I have some in my house. I got from another plant, and they're really beautiful. You kind of have to add hairspray, and to sort of keep those seed pods together. And then here we have red coleus. It's just such a bright pop of coleus here along the edge of the house. And these are actually just in cinder blocks. So I don't know maybe what property the cinder blocks have, or I don't know what's happening here, the amount of sun that it gets, but these are doing amazing. And I can actually show you. I placed some of these just in, so not technically in the soil, just in. And if I try to tug, it feels like the root is caught down below. So they are rooted, but if I ever needed to switch it, it's super easy. I'll just give it a good yank and these pots can be removed and replaced. So that's what I'm going to do here. If these die out in this cold that's coming, I'll just update it with something else. That was our front garden 2022 tour. I feel like a lot of it was annuals, so that's something I can keep in mind because I want to start putting in more perennials. That way I don't have such common or such often rotation of plants, and the perennials can actually develop and be fuller and take up more of the space. So that's my plan for 2023. I want to say thank you all for joining in the front garden tour and have a great holidays.